recording. Yeah. Okay, so thank you for coming. So today we'll be talking about the topic here about Linux related Unix. And then it is about the permission and ownership on Linux or Unix system. Okay. And then our agenda are we'll be talking about the Unix objects. Okay, we make sure that everything is a file. Okay, you understand about that concept. And then we will talking about the file security, file ownership, file permissions, a little bit about how you can set up an access to your objects. Objects can be files, can be a folder, but actually a folder itself is also a files that contain information about other files. Okay, a little bit funny, but we'll check it later. Okay, and then yeah, we'll be talking about the objects, unique objects, and then the file security concepts on Linux system, and then ownership, permission, access control, and then we're going to have a little bit practice here. Okay, and as introductions, we are GLC, Gardarinsa Cakrawala. We are based in Bandung. Our areas are IT and training, IT consulting and training, sorry. Certified partner for MikroTik, Ubiquiti, and Linux. We have also a product named Redis Manager. We also have a regular event like what we do today, the webinar. My name is Achmad Mardiansyah. I'm based in Bandung. I'm Linux user since 1999. MikroTik user and also Ubiquiti. I'm also certified trainer for MikroTik and Linux. Also Ubiquiti and also other vendors. We also do other vendors actually like Cisco for networking. Well, basically networking are more or less similar, right? As long as you have a basic understanding about how networking works, and then it's just a matter of adapting yourself to the new environment given by a certain vendor. Okay. If you have LinkedIn, we can connect. That's my LinkedIn URL. About our past experiences, we had a project in Malaysia and Congo and overseas. Okay. And then about the webinar itself, we started the webinar since 2010. We try to make it regular every week on Thursday evening. Thank you very much for your introduction. I can see some of you are not from Indonesia. Okay, from okay, Indonesian. Oh, Philippines. Okay, thank you very much for introducing yourself. Welcome. If this is your first time, welcome, and hope you enjoy the webinar. Okay, so I hope you have a good internet connection, and then we can have a practice here. Okay, so I will mute all of your microphone at the moment. Okay, and also the video. Okay, why we don't use video? Because why don't I don't share video? Because the video had make a significant CPU processing during the Zoom webinar. So I would rather to show my presentation instead of my face. Okay. Other questions. If you see my face, do you really understand the materials better or not? Oh, okay. So some of you are from Chad, Central Africa. Okay, welcome. So I would like to stop my video. Okay, so so that we can have a focus on our materials here, which is the slides. Okay. So welcome to Unix. Okay. Unix is an operating system. And then we are discussing about one aspect of the Unix, which is the Unix objects. So in the Unix or Linux, has FHS. FHS means file hierarchy standard. What's that mean? It's the standard file system. Okay. So if when we talk about the operating system consists of what? Consists of files, right? So when you boot a computer, and then so when we check the boot sequence, when you boot your computer, so what's going on? So you boot, you press the button, power button, and then the computer will do a post test, checking the memory, checking the hard disk, is there any broken controller, and then so on and so forth. And then it checks the boot device. Okay, it can be first hard disk, second hard disk, or whatever. Okay, so on the first hard disk, we put a loader so that the BIOS will check the loader and then put the loader into the RAM. Okay, and then from that loader, we program that loader that, okay, when you already in the RAM, and then please take this file located in this hard disk in this directory, and then that file is a kernel, so the kernel will be put on the RAM. So that's the first software that is put on the RAM. It's the kernel. Okay, so basically files, yeah, is playing important role on Unix, because every operating system consists of files, right? Yeah. And then in Unix, we have a file hierarchy standard. Okay. So basically is the, well, I can type something's wrong here. Oops. Guys, can you see my screen? Okay, no, it works. Okay, something's not right here. Okay, so this is a file hierarchy standard. So basically, it's uh, it's a directory. Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah, okay. I have a problem with my pen here. Looks like it doesn't draw. Okay. That is the file hierarchy standard. It's the structure of a Linux system. Okay. That contains of several directory that, and its own directory has its own functions. For example, etc is for configuration files. USR is for like a program files where you put your binary there. And then because we are using files, and then it has to have a system that manages the files, right? So that one we called a file system. Okay, so a file system here. Okay, so file system. So file system can be extended 3, extended 4, XFS, and so on and so forth. So in Unix, everything is a file. Okay. So folder actually is a file. So folder contains, actually folder contains a pointer to other files. Yeah. So the content of a folder is just a list of files inside the folder. Okay, that's the function of folder. So the folder itself, actually, it's a files with different types of files. We'll take a look at later. And then we also have other type of files like a hard disk, okay, keyboard, and etc. So all of them are files, even though monitor, keyboard, mouse, printer, everything is a file. So it's not like Windows where you have where it's not that easy to access a device. Okay, so monitor has its own device, mouse, keyboard, and so on and so forth. So in Unix, it's easier. Okay, when you plug a um, when you plug a, hard disk, as long as the Unix recognize your hard disk, and then you can access it immediately. So it's very easy. It's very comfortable. Uh, Convenience when you use Unix as your development platform, or if you want to do research on that. Okay, so regarding the file security, we have access control. Okay, so the concept is like this. So when a user, so in Unix, it's not, there is no there is no everything is a user, then and everything must have owner. Okay, so when somebody runs something in the Unix system, there must be a user running on it. Okay, so there is no like a ghost user, you know, a ghost. So a ghost you cannot see, but uh, the effect is there. Okay, the activity there, but there is no user is doing that. Okay, so we don't use that concept in Unix. So when somebody is doing something, when a process is doing something, and then that process must be run by a user. Okay, and then by running something, usually that user is accessing something. Okay, and then something is called object. So objects can be files, directory. Okay, only those two. Okay, actually a folder is also file. So objects can be files. Okay, so when you run something, you as a user, usually user has user ID and then group ID. Okay, and then the object has ownership. Okay, so who owns that objects? Who owns that files? Okay, so sometimes we call it a user of the file. So it means that the owner, and then the group. Okay, and then we have a permission for each of them. So permission for the owner, permission for a group, permission for others. Okay, so when you see this is the objects. Okay, sorry, it's not that good. And then this is the owner, this is the group, and then if it is not belong to user or groups, and then all of them will be fall here, all. Okay, so user we can define, user cannot read its own objects. Yes, it's possible. Yeah. So this object, for example, is owned by this user. Okay, but we can set up. Okay, you cannot read your own files. Yes, it's possible. So that's what the permission can do on objects. Okay, guys, if you have a questions, again, just type here in the group chat. Okay. Okay, so next is the ownership. Okay, so ownership means who owns uh, the person who owns the um, the objects. Okay, so okay, who owns the object? Okay, um, Yeah, so every file, okay, every object, so if I say object, it means it's a file because everything is files in Unix, right? Okay, so everything must have an owner, okay? Everything must have an owner and then belong to a group, okay? Owner, okay? And then, is there any files that doesn't have owner? Yes, yes. It's possible. For example, if you have a bad file system, if you have a file system corrupted, and then the owner can be is not correct. Okay. So previously we have every user must have a user ID. Okay, so it's similar to your ID, right? So I said again, every user must have an ID. Okay, and then every object must have an owner. Okay, so for example, you have an ID of 1111. Okay, so 1111, 1111. Okay, 1111. That's your user ID. So on your object, okay, the user ID of that object should be 1111 because that's your own file. So you own that files, okay? And then one thing happens, your file system crash, okay? So that the owner can be changed. Yes, strange, yes, but sometimes it happens. So instead of 1111, that the ownership of the file becomes 2222, and then nobody is on the system that has a user ID of 2222. Okay, so that's strange, right? So that happens. So that one we can call it is orphan objects. Orphan means doesn't have a owner. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so that's the owner and then the group. So as you can see, when you display, uh, you can see this is the owner. Okay, and then this is the group. Sometimes the name of the owner and the group are same, but you can see sometimes different. The owner is root, the group is developers. Okay, and then uh, you can change the ownership. Uh, the person that can change the ownership is super user. In this case, is the root. Okay, only root can change the ownership. Okay, so here we really distinguish the difference between ownership and permission. Okay, two different things. So ownership means the one or user that owns the objects. The permission is the how a user can access the object or files. Okay. Oops, I need to clear it up. So, okay, so this is a file permission. Okay. So you have, when you log in, you're accessing when you are logging, you are accessing an object, either files or folder. So when you access a files, these are the permission that you can get. Either you can, this is file. So that's why the difference between files and directory. Okay. Sometimes I say directory, sometimes I say the folder. Okay. So you only have three uh, three um, three three options. Okay, so either you can read, either you can modify the files. Okay, so modify, it's not similar to delete. Okay, so modify and delete is different thing. Okay, so modify and delete is different thing. Okay, so modify means you change the content. Delete means delete. It is possible, even though you can modify, you cannot delete it. Yes, it's possible, yes. Okay, and then you can execute the files. So that's the permission that you can get on files. Okay. What about folder? Well, if it is folder, and then if you can, if there is an R, okay, okay, let me update the pen here. Hopefully it works. Still not. Okay, never mind. Okay, so you can, if there is an R, you can list the folder content. If there's a W, you can delete the folder content. And then if there's an X, you can change the directory to that folder. Okay. And then we'll be talking about the access control. So, so previously we already talked about the ownership. Now we are talking about the permission. So that depends on the how you access the objects. Okay. So either if your user ID is similar to the object, and then you fall into the user category. Okay. Because it's more specific. If your user ID and group ID are similar, okay, they will pick the user ID because it's more specific. If the user ID is not same, your user ID is not similar to the owner of the objects, okay, and then you will fall into the group category. Okay. If you are not belong to of them, and then it'll become others. Okay. So how you change the permission? Well, you can do it by change mode, this command, and then the access is done by the owner, not by super user. So this one we can change it. Okay, we can do it ourselves. For changing, we can use two modes: first is symbolic mode and then octal mode. So I really suggest you, when you do a practice, you have to log in using um, two users so that we can practice. Okay, this is the symbolic mode that you can apply to a folder or directory. Okay, so this is the object, this is the target. Okay, here's the target. Okay, and then here's the syntax. So it's chmod. Sometimes they call it chmod. And then here's the options. Okay, and then here's the mode. Okay, either you can you define. Okay, you define user, group, others, or all, and then you define the operators and then the permission. Okay, so as simple as that. Okay, that's how you define this in the permission using the symbolic mode. And then we have octal mode here. Here we have a calculation. We have to do a calculation first before we do the octal mode. Okay, so here we have RWX, and then each of them actually is the power of 2. So 2 to the power of 0, we started here. This is a binary, right? Binary is a number that is base 2. Okay, so 2 to the power of 0 here, 2 to the power of 1 to the power of 2. Okay, so x equals to 1, w equals to 2, r equals to 4. So it's up to you which flag do you want to activate. Okay, so if you want to activate all of them, it means that RWX you put there, and then you combine. Okay, so RWX, R means 4, W means 2, X means 1. So 4 plus 2 plus 1 equals to 7. So it becomes 7 here. So the first number will define the user. The second number is for group. The other number is for others. So with octal mode, you define all of them all in once. While in the symbolic mode, it's much more flexible. You want to modify just for user only, that's fine. Okay. And then we do the live practice. Okay, I will prepare. Oops. Prepare the accounts. Okay, so now it's ready. And then I will paste it on the group chat. Okay, hope you can access it. Okay, so the username contains X. Okay, live X. So you have to change X into 1 to 20. So you can log into live 1, live 2, live 3, up to 20. And then that's the password. Okay, I will share my whole screen so that you can see what's going on here. Okay, and then I will log in to my terminal. Okay, let me log in with user 19. SSH. Okay, I'm preparing myself to log in. Okay, so as you can see, I already log in. And then hopefully you can see my screen here. I am logged in as user 19. On the other hand, on my other screen, I already log in using user 20. Okay, so as you can see, yeah. Okay, so on the right is user 20. Okay, hopefully you can see it. I can see some of you already logged in. Thank you very much. Okay, user 16. Okay, I can see you. Welcome to the server. Okay, hope you enjoyed. Okay, guys, if you want to try, please log in. We can do something fun here. So, okay, I'm user 19. I can display the content. And then as you can see, oh, maybe I put it here a little bigger. Okay, yeah. So as you can see, I have, I can create a files. I can use touch file one. I'm Ahmad. Okay, it's good. Okay, so I'm doing ls minus l, and then I can see a file here, the file that I already just created. And then here's the permission. Okay, here's the permission. So I'm highlighting here's the permission. And then the first is minus. Minus means it's a file. If you see D here, D means directory. Is there anything else other than minus and D? Yes, there is. ls minus l slash def, for example. Maybe we can take a look, some of them. Okay, so SR0, for example. See? So this guy is B. Okay, so what the B means? B means a block device. Okay. So ls minus L file Achmad. So this is minus. Okay. Minus means a file. And then SR0 means B. B means it's a block device. But is it still a file? Yes, it's a file. Okay, so in Linux and Unix, everything is a file. So B here is a file. But why this is B and this is minus? Minus means ordinary files. B here means device files. But all of them principally, basically, it's the same. Or both of them are files. Okay, so that was the uh, Unix. Okay. Okay, so everything is a files. You have a folder, you have a hard disk, you have a keyboard and mouse. So I already show you the example of them. Okay, so and then we can see the security concept. So I'm here. So who am I? Okay, I can check here. Who am I? So I'm user life 19. Okay, or I can use ID. Okay, so this is my ID. My user ID is 1044. My primary group is 1044. It's the same. Okay, so the name of the group is G Live 19. Okay, my username is Live 19. My group name is G Live 19. And then if we have if we belong to other groups, and then there will be more groups here. Okay, others is just for SE Linux. And then what else? Yeah, that's the security concept. Okay, so I'm here logging as a user live 19, and then I can check my own directory. I'm in my home directory /home/live 19. I can go one level. I can check. There are lots of them here, and then I can see a live 20. Okay. So this object is called live 20. Okay, so folder live 20. And then I want to log in. I want to get into the folder. So I do cd live 20. And then what I got, permission denied. Okay, so this is it. Why? Okay, let's check it. So I'm here as the user 19. This is user 19. Okay. And then the ownership here is user live 20. And then this object, this is the object that I want to access. Okay. This object name live 20. And then the ownership, the owner of that object is user live 20. And then the group of that object is G live 20. Okay. So for me, I'm a user. My username is live19 and G live19. So I cannot access based on the permission that they have here. So this is the permission of owner. Okay, so it's RWX. So it means that the owner, the user live 20 is already there. And then here's the permission for group. And this is the permission of for others. So I will fall into this one. Okay. Why? Because I'm not, my username is not similar to this. my group is not similar to this. So I will fall into this one. And then what do I got? So I got minus, minus, minus. Minus means there is no read permission, there is no write permission, there is no execute permission. So I can just do nothing. Okay. Okay, look guys, if you have any questions, and then Okay, I will. You can unmute your microphone. Okay, I already allow you to unmute your microphone. Okay, if you have any questions and then you want to say something, feel free to do so. Okay, so at least I already give you. Yeah, it's a good question. So execute means like a start, stop, reload. Yes, correct. Yes, correct. So for example, this. Okay, let me check. Okay, I will go to my own directory. Okay, and then this is my directory. Okay, so let's say this file one, film file one, has a is a script file. Okay, script files echo hello world. Okay, so that is a script file. So if this is a script files, okay, what we will do is just execute the files. How do I do that? Well, we can do home live 19 and then file one Ahmad. Yes, as simple as that. And then I cannot do that because I'm the owner of these files, right? I'm the owner. So this is the ownership of this file. So this is the file. Okay, is the owner, and then this is the group. Okay, and then myself is belongs to live 19, but there is no execute permission here. The permission is minus. So I have to create my own permission to access my own files. That's funny. Okay, we can do that. We can apply what we already learned here, which is the symbolic mode. Okay, symbolic modes I really urge you to use because it's so much easier and then very flexible. So what I will do is mode. Okay, what do you want to do? Okay, you want to add, right? So you want to add, you want to remove, or you want to assign. So I would just want to add. So it means that plus, what do you want to add? Oh, okay. So first I have to define the target, okay, the user for who. So this is for user or the owner. Same. If I say user and owner, it's the same thing. So the user, so it means that I will use you here. Look, this is I use you. So you means I will define the first three of the permission. Okay, so that's the meaning of you. Okay, over here. So u plus x and then the target done. Okay, let's clear it out. And then ls minus l. And then I can see there is an x. So it's very easy, very handy. So really suggest you to do that. Now I can access. As simple as that. Okay, so yes, Ramadan Agung Rifai. Yes, that's what you mean. Okay, so execute the files means you execute the files. Okay, the way we execute the files is typing the absolute path of the files like this, or because we already in the directory here, we can just type dot. Dot means current directory and then the file name. As simple as that. So it's the concept is different to Windows. So in Windows, executable files means there must be an .exe or .com, .exe, .com. So those files must have an extension, uh, uh, that extension in order to have to be executable files. In Linux, no need. Okay, so in order to executable, no, I don't have to. So for example, I can change it to like to, for example, .exe, right? So this is really Windows. Okay. Okay, so I don't have to do it like this. So in Unix, when you set up executable files, as long as it has X, and then it can be executable files. You don't have to put an XC at the end. No, it's a Windows way. No, no way, man. Okay, I change it back. Now it works. Okay, I have a question here. What is Ahmad from file one Ahmad? Sorry, I don't understand. So this is just a name. Okay, I can change it to anyone. So I can say, oh, okay, maybe you can change it to MV file one to the name of the president, Joe Biden, right? Yes, no problem. How can we execute it? Same thing, home, live 19, and then file one, Joe Biden, done. Okay, it's just a name, okay? But you are using hyphens or minus there. That's fine. It's just a name, okay? I can remove the minus, no problem. Can you execute? Of course. Done. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, yeah. That's how it works. How you execute the files. Now I have a question here asking about how chown. Yeah. So that one you have to use root. Yeah. Okay. So what you can do is go home, live 19. Okay, so this is root things. Okay, so it's not common. I'm the one who knows the password, not you guys. Okay, sorry for that. So what I will do, I can change the ownership because I could not change because I'm the ordinary user. So change own, for example, so I want to change it to live 20. The group is G live 20, for example, on files one Joe Biden. I cannot do that. Okay. So if I'm root, and then I can do this. Okay. Now it works. Now let's see the difference. So the ownership is different now. So it belongs to live 20. So previously it's live 19. So for this one, so previously I can execute the files, okay? Here, but now I cannot. Why? Because I cannot fall into this one. I'm not falling into the user permission here because I'm live 19 and this is live 20. So I'm not the ownership. I'm not the owner of these files. Previously I was the owner, but now I'm not. Okay, because the root already changed the owner. Okay, to live 20. Now I'm live 19. I cannot do that. Okay, so when I execute the files, I'm not belong to here. Okay, what about the group? Okay, my group is G live 19 and the group here is G live 20. So I cannot use this. This is for owner. I cannot use this. This is for a group. So I'm not belong to the group. So I'm falling to this one, to the others. And then others says read without X. So I cannot execute that. So how can you allow me to execute? So we can only for permission. Look, okay, let me repeat. For ownership, only root can do that. Okay, only root can do that. But for permission, okay, permission is done by owner or root. Okay, so I'm here as a root, or I'm here as a only root or the owner, which is live 20, can change it. So for example, so I will change mode O plus X file 1. Now let me check. I can access. Right. So hopefully that answered the questions. Who is it? Jihad Aulia Fadla. Yeah. So hopefully you can understand what's the difference between ownership and permission. Okay, I have another question from Alan Kessler Sol. Okay, I think it's the command. I think you name your files, one file, one only. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, you're confusing about the file name here. It's just a name, okay. Sorry for that. Okay. So actually you have can I have a file name with space? Yeah, it's very common. Yes, you can. So for example, you want to create a file, touch file file 1 space, okay, but you cannot do it. You have to use backspace space, okay, backslash space, and then file 2, okay, then ls minus l. Nah, okay, here's what you got. Okay, file 2. Okay, that's how you that's how you set up. You create a files using a minus a space, but we don't recommend it. So I would prefer, if I'm using Linux, so I will change it to file underscore 2 into file underscore 2. So I would prefer to have it like this. So it's contagious, okay? There is no something space in between, okay? Because it's gonna be easier for us to manage the files, okay? Instead of if we put a space on it. Okay, so anything else? So we have discussed the permission, okay? Oh, okay. We have discussed the ownership. Okay, and then we try to change the ownership using octal mode. Yes, we can. So with octal mode, we have to set up like this. So change mode, so all together for user, for group, and for others. 700, for example. So this will be minus, 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 okay. File 2, okay, file 2. Okay, what happened after that? Okay, so here it is. Okay, so I want to execute. I want to remove the X here on on owner permission. Yes, it's possible. Yes. So what will be? So what will be the number? So as we only activate R and W, so 4 added by 2 equals to 6. So it's going to be 600. Okay, ls. So it's going to be RW minus. So previously RWX now becomes RW minus. All right, so that's it. Okay. Oh yeah, one more thing. As you can see, I'm at the home directory and then I try to log into Live 20. Okay, so I tried to go to CD Live 20. I cannot do that. Why? Because this is folder, and then in order to change the folder, I need to have a X permission on folder. Okay, so I'm not the owner, so I cannot use this one. My group is not similar, so I cannot use this one. Okay, so I will use others. So as Live 20, okay, I'm root now, so I can change. Oh, there's a mosquito here. So I have to change the O plus X live 20. Okay, let's check the permission now. Oh, okay, I can access it now. Okay, let us check the permission. Now I can see an X here. If I see X and then I'm at the others, I'm following to others permission here, so that I can do the live 20. I can log into, I can change directory to live 20, and then here I'm at live 20. Oh, okay, so I can do an ls then. No, I can't. Why? Because ls requires read permission on the folder. Okay, so I have to add more permission, R for example, and then I can do ls. Yes, right. Okay, what about R? Okay, what about R? Okay, sometimes maybe I can touch a file here. File by root. Okay, so I can see there is a file here. Oops. Okay, let's move the files into the directory. Okay, so I can see a file here. So the file here, name file by root, is owned by root inside the live 20 directory. Can I delete it? rm file by root. No, I cannot. It's permission denied. Okay, that's fine. Maybe it's because there is no W here. Okay, we add all W. Change mode A plus W. Yes, it's possible. Yes. 20 file by root. Okay, let's check the permission. Okay, so all of them are W, right? So that I can just delete it. No, I cannot. Why? Because it's belong to root? Not really. It's because of the settings on the device here, on the folder here. So if you want to delete, so you have to put W on the folder. Okay. So what you can do, change mode O plus W slash home live 20. Okay, and then we can check. Okay, now you can see there's a W here, and then the color is different because this is dangerous. Okay, when you put W on directory, it means that somebody is able to delete the folder there, especially on others. Okay, so as you can see, user 19. I'm in the folder live 20. Okay, and then I can delete the files. Done. Boom. Very dangerous, right? See. Okay, so, oh, okay, so we already 2030 now. Thank you very much for coming to the webinar, right? So I think we are done today. If you have any questions, feel free to do so. Just send us an email or write something in our group chat in the WhatsApp, okay? Okay, yeah, if you are interested, you can come to our training. There's a schedule in our website, right? glcnetworks.com. Yeah, there's a Yeah, there's a schedule here. Yeah, where you can apply for a class. Okay, and also please submit your feedback. Okay. Okay, let me copy a link and then put in the group chat. Okay. And then what we need is it's a feedback from you, especially for the next webinar topics. Okay. So for topics that is requested most by the participants, we will put in on priority. Uh, slide slide will be available in the slide share. Facebook page is here. We'll put the recording on YouTube. Yeah. And then next week, we're going to have another webinar with different topics. Okay, so what is it? Oh, yeah, somebody wants to get a certificate. Okay, yeah, that's fine, but the certificate is not free. Just please write an email to 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 admin. Okay, so just send contact.glcnetworks.com. Okay, here it is. We have an email. Okay, contact. Here, this is the email. contact@glcnetworks.com. Okay, guys. Thank you very much. Is there anything else from admin? No.
I think yes, just please fill up the feedback. It's really helpful to us. And the
Yeah.
last thing, can you please turn on your video? We can take picture.
Oh, yeah. The video. Okay, it's the last one. Right. Okay,
Last,
guys. Could you please turn
thank
on
you
your
very much.
videos? We're going to have a photo session here through the pandemic. Thank you very much. Please. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 9 people. Okay, thank you. Okay, for those who already log in to the successfully log in, no problem. Right. And who else able to log in? Okay, please don't be shy. All right. Okay, I will take a look. Okay, I'll count 1, 2, 3. Yes. Okay. One more. It's the documentation. 1, 2, 3. Right. Thank you very much. And then have you have a good day. Have a good day and good
Thank you so
evening.
much,
Good.
everybody, for your
Yeah. Good
attendance.
evening,
I hope this
everybody.
webinar will give you a good benefit. And thank you from the people from overseas for your time.
Yeah.
So see you on the next webinar.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you